following program comes from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, songwriter, 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce WrestleMania. And the first to launch her own podcast, which gives you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes and extraordinary entertainers. Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey of chasing glory with your host, Lilian Garcia.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chasing Glory. So happy to have you here with me. If this is your first time coming and checking out the show, I really want to welcome you and thank you for checking it out. It is a show where it gets very real, raw, and as we say, inspiring. And if you're a listener that's been with me for a long time, I can't thank you enough again because you're keeping me going in this journey of chasing glory. And we have an amazing episode heading your way. But first, just want to remind you guys that you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Lilian Garcia. Lilian is spelled with one L in the middle. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Lilian Garcia Official Fan Page. And you can also definitely find me at liliangarcia.com. There is a lot of information there. And also on Instagram to follow the show, you can go to @Chasing Glory Podcast. Okay, something else that's very exciting is the fact that I have joined Cameo. What is Cameo? All you guys have to do is download the app Cameo and put in my name, or you can go to cameo.com/Lilian Garcia. Cameo is CAMEO, and then Lilian, again, one L in the middle. Okay, so what is Cameo? That is a place that you can go to because I've been getting a lot of requests for special shout outs. So Cameo has come up with a platform where you can go on there like myself and you can actually request for me to do a special birthday wish for a friend or for you or anniversary wish, whatever you guys want. I'm even doing some ring announcements. Why not, right? I'm having a little fun with this. I want you guys to get creative. So definitely check it out. Introductory price. So it is super affordable to do this. And yeah, I'm already having some shout outs that I've been doing and just having a blast with them. So please, it's a way for me to connect and it's just, we can have a lot of fun together. So check out Cameo app. All right. So last week's show, Saraya Knight. This is Paige's mom. And I wanted Saraya to represent the independent wrestlers, the females out there that have been really just working their butts off in this industry to really get noticed and make headway. And I felt like Evolution coming up on October 28th, they're definitely a part of Evolution. All the independent wrestlers, just because you haven't made it to the WWE doesn't mean that you have not contributed to this movement. You have. And so I felt like Saraya was the perfect person because she has been in the independent scene for many years, and she still wrestles. And I had Paige on the week before, so I was like, this would be kind of cool, having the daughter and the mom follow up. It was incredible. I was not prepared for the story she was going to share. And when I say incredible, I mean a tough journey. Oh my God. I mean, tough journey that this woman has had. So I appreciate, Saraya, that you opened up so much as you did. It was incredible to have you on the show and to be so open. And now she said it. If you guys haven't heard it, definitely go back and listen to the episode. But at the end, she gives her email address to anybody that is dealing with any kind of problem that you guys have been having. Either you've been molested, raped, or anything like that. She's in a position that she can help because she has been there. Very serious subject, but it is life and it's happened. And now she's finding a way to turn what happened to her to helping others. So check that episode out. And if you guys checked out my Instagram and all and Twitter and everything, you found out that I moved. If you've been following my story, you know that I've been through about 5 months now. My husband and I have been living out of a suitcase. And the reason why, just, you can go back and listen to all the details in past episodes, but just the short end story of it is we found high levels of mold where we were living. A very nice place where we were living, but mold can get anywhere. And that's the thing that I want to educate people. It does not matter the kind of home that you have. And especially with all these floods that are happening with all across America, across the world, once water gets into your home, you have to get a professional to come in and figure out how to dry it out and how to get it out, because it just really can just cause havoc. I know because I was already exposed to a house 20 years ago that had high levels of mold. And because of that, I'm on a mold-free diet. And now this bout, I was sick for 3 years, guys. I did not even put 2 and 2 together that it could be the mold in the place, and finally figured it out. And so we finally had to move because they couldn't make the place safe enough for us to live. So it was hard. It was change isn't easy. And I really loved where we were, but I finally listened. And so my husband and I went looking and we found something, and it was hell. Moving is not easy. Anybody out there moving? Oh my God, it's not easy. And man, a big shout out to all the moving companies and these guys that do this every day as their job. I was so exhausted. One day we had 15 hours, the actual move day. Movers came in at 9 a.m. and didn't leave the new place until midnight. That's a lot. And I was right there with them. As a matter of fact, I was moving boxes. I was packing boxes. I was carrying. They were so impressed. In fact, they were like, no, you don't have to do this. And I'm like, no. We have to get this done. And I don't just sit around and watch movers. I take action. I definitely help out. It could be the fact that I was in a band for many years. And when you're in a band and you're first starting out, you are lugging road equipment everywhere. You're setting up, you're tearing down, you're carrying things to the truck, you're building things. That's the thing in me. So I was definitely there with the movers, and it was exhausting, but we got it done. So anyway, I'm exhausted, but excited for this new journey. And if it sounds right now a little hollow in here, and that's because, it's, empty rooms. So building out this massive studio, I'm so excited about it. There's a lot of great things that are going to be coming up for Chasing Glory. And now it's coming to you instead of Marina Del Rey, California. It is coming to you from Hollywood. Yes, Hollywood, California. That's where we decided to go. And so big things in the horizon. I'm glad you guys are here with us in this new journey. And I hope that you guys are having amazing journeys where you are. And just know that change is hard, but you got to just lean into it. Lean into it. Quit resisting. If something's happening, it really is true what they say. Things happen for a reason. And right now, I know that our reason is we're supposed to be here. So, and Chasing Glory is supposed to be coming to you from Hollywood. And there's just so much that's already starting to happen. So I can't wait to share. So then what happened this past weekend? I went to the Comic-Con. Well, not this past weekend. I guess it was last weekend, but it was so much fun in Chicago. And I had, of course, the Bella Twins and Seth Rollins and then Alexa Bliss. So then I asked Alexa, I'm like, how would you like to be on the show again? Because she was my guest, but it's been over a year and I really wanted to catch up with her since a year ago. And yeah, it was great. She didn't hesitate. We had an amazing conversation. So excited for you guys to hear this. So without further ado, here is Alexa Bliss's continued journey of Chasing Glory. Alexis Kaufman has been involved in sports since a very young age, having competed in softball, track, kickboxing, and gymnastics. As a teenager, she became one of the top cheerleaders and reached Division I status at the University of Akron and was even on the cover of American Cheerleader magazine at the age of 17. She was also a competitive bodybuilder, which helped her overcome a nearly tragic eating disorder and even competed at the Arnold Classic. After impressing at a tryout camp, she was signed in May of 2013 and reported to NXT, where she became Alexa Bliss. Over the next few years, Alexa would face many future champions such as Bayley, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch before ditching her good girl image and becoming a villainess, leading Blake and Murphy to the NXT Tag Team Championship. During the 2016 WWE Draft, Alexa was drafted to SmackDown Live, and within 5 months of making her main roster debut, she defeated Becky Lynch in a tables match to become the SmackDown Women's Champion for the very first time. During the Superstar Shakeup in April of 2017, Alexa was drafted to Monday Night Raw, and at Payback, she defeated Bayley for the Raw Women's Championship, becoming the first woman to win both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. Bliss would continue to make history when she won the first ever female Elimination Chamber match and became the first woman in history to successfully cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase on the same night that she won it. Sky's the limit for the Disney and cosplay fanatic as she made her video game debut in WWE 2K17 and was a cast member of the 7th season of the hit reality show Total Divas. It's about to get real, raw, and inspiring with Alexa Bliss. All right, guys, you just heard it. Her incredible bio. And this bio, every time I have her on, it continues to get longer and longer. But I'm so excited. Alexa Bliss is back on Chasing Glory. Hello, girl.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Welcome back, honey.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, of course. It was so good to see you at the Comic-Con.
So much fun. I was actually talking about it afterwards with the Comic-Con director guy. I was like, oh my gosh, having Lilian there was so much easier because she knows us, and it was so nice. It was such an easy Q&A, and it was so fun. And he was like, yeah, it's so easy that way, and it was so good.
Oh my God, I didn't even know you did that. Thank you. That's so awesome to hear. That's so sweet, because you've done other ones then before with other moderators?
Yeah, and especially like if it's a moderator that doesn't know us or isn't familiar with the company, or there's no moderator at all, it's very difficult because sometimes we get asked these questions that we can't answer, if that makes sense. Really? You know what I mean? Just like, I don't know, just sometimes like, I think the hardest question I was ever asked was about like another wrestling company and stuff like that. And we're like, anyway, we're really looking forward to SummerSlam, you know.
Moving right along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely know better than not to bring up another wrestling company. That's like, what?
But that's the thing, is they can't like screen the questions beforehand. You know what I mean? So It was just very like, it just puts us in an awkward position, and we're just like, anyway, moving right along. So it's nice to have like a mediator that's like on their game and knows us and knows the business. It's great.
Thank you. Well, I had so much fun. You and Seth Rollins were together, and when I heard that I was going to moderate that panel with the two of you together, I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And it is crazy how, you know, I brought it up at the very beginning, how there was similarities with you and Seth Rollins, and the fact that you both are a little more introverted, and you worked so hard at such a young age. You missed out on being out with friends and all this kind of stuff. And did it surprise you to hear that his path was similar?
Yeah, it was very surprising. You know, you never know someone's past unless, you know, someone else opens them up. You know what I mean? Because I've actually had this conversation with Seth, like at a live event. You know, I'm very antisocial when it comes to people. If I'm with one person, I'm very talkative. I'm very like personable. I'll talk your ear off. But if there's like another person interjected, I get so awkward. If it's like a group of people, I'm the quiet one, and I'm just very awkward in that sense. But I feel like a lot of creative people are. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? A lot of creative people I feel like are socially awkward.
Well, you know, I wonder too, because as I look at your background and knowing that you were the only child, I wonder if that has to do anything with that too. I don't know. I don't think no, Seth is definitely not an only child. But in your case, let's just say, do you think it has anything to do with that at all? That you just didn't have siblings to deal with?
I don't know, because I always had friends over. You know what I mean? I always had like one friend over. And what was nice about being an only child, I would always say, you know, because my friends and my parents' friends, I was always kind of like a smart ass as a child, right? So my parents' friends would be like, don't you want brothers and sisters? You know, but my mom wasn't able to have any more children. Oh. And they didn't know that, you know? And so I was like, I would always say, I get to have friends over, and when I get sick of them, I just send them home. So like, you can't do that with brothers and sisters.
Yeah, true. Did you ever have a situation with friends where you actually fought and you had to make up? You know, because like with my sister, it would be different. Like if I fought with a friend and it was bad, that's it. We split up as friends. With my sister, when I fought with her, we have to make up. You know, we're sisters, and so we learned that whole process of making up. Does it make you feel like, or do you ever feel like you missed out on that part?
No, I feel like if I've ever had a altercation with one of my best friends, we always made up like sisters. And I feel like, you met my best friend, Erin. Like,
yes.
I can't remember what happened. It was back in high school. We had this argument. I don't even remember what it was to this day. Cause it was so silly, but I remember we got on the phone and just cried to each other, and then we made up and we were fine. Like, we were just like arguing, but crying. But then we were like, okay, anyway, you want to go to the mall? Like, it was just like, it was anytime I've had a falling out with a friend, I guess, it's over something so stupid, and then you make up and then you're fine. And I feel like that's how I kind of got my siblings like kind of experience, and I grew up around, cause my parents had me at such a young age. I grew up around my parents' friends. So I was always very mature for my age. I kind of grew up with my parents, and they had me in sports my whole life, to keep me out of trouble. And, I feel like when you say like people sacrifice their childhood, like I definitely did that because but I wanted to. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be the best at whatever I was doing. So during summer breaks and spring break, we never went on spring break vacation. I was in the cheer gym working with my coaches at 9 a.m., and I would have individual sessions and stuff. So I sacrificed my childhood for my career and my success, and it's all paid off now. But, I've definitely feel like that's something that, a lot of people say, I feel, this is just me personally. Like a lot of people say, coming into this business, so like a lot of people say, you didn't wrestle in the indies, you didn't pay your dues. Well, I sacrificed my childhood for this,
Right. You did it in other ways. It was just not wrestling, but you did. It's the same thing with me. Like I didn't do anything in the indies or anything. I came straight on to Monday Night Raw. Yeah. I didn't even go to NXT because there was no NXT. So
yeah.
But it didn't mean that I didn't do other things outside of, hosting of the shows, radio DJ, all that kind of stuff that prepped me for where I'm at now.
Right, exactly. And it's just like one of those things,
Yeah. So with Erin, thank goodness I got to meet her. That was incredible, actually, that I got to meet her because of such a touching story. Guys, I just want to tell you, go back and listen to Alexa Bliss's first interview if you haven't already. And if you have, trust me, I did it again. I listened to it again, and it is so powerful. And your story, what you shared, and now you talk about Erin in there and how she helped you when you were dealing with anorexia and that whole, what a struggle you went through. And it was great to see you guys are still friends. And I could see she genuinely loved you. Something that hit me so hard as I was re-listening to the interview was talking about her, how when you were in the hospital and you were down to, I think at one point you were down to 90 something pounds. And then after that you were 80 something pounds, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Correct.
So how she finally looked at you and she said, if you think you're fat, then what do you think about me?
Yeah.
Right. That was such a powerful statement that she told you right there. And then getting to meet her and all, like what you guys went through together. You sharing your story, since you did, you spoke so well about it, ended up on Total Divas as you and I were, talking about it. What has that done for you for having the platform that you have?
Oh man, it's been incredible. There's actually a situation at that same Comic-Con this past weekend, there was a girl who came up to me, and I feel like it's given people the comfort to speak out, because I feel like, I know I talk about it all the time, but body issue, insecurity, online bullying, it's a thing, people go through it. And I'm sure at some point people are going to be sick of hearing me talk about it, but I'm going to keep talking about it.
No, it's fine. It needs to be talked about.
And there was this girl who came up to us, me and Erin. I was doing my signing, and Erin was standing in the back with me, hanging out. And this girl comes up and she says, "Hey, do you have any advice for me? I'm having trouble eating." And she said, "I'm dealing with anorexia." And, I gave her some advice. I said, "I know it's hard. I know it's tough, but you have to eat. You have to," which is like the worst thing you could ever tell someone with an eating disorder, like eat. But I said, "I know it's scary, but if you take that first step, it gets easier. And you have to treat your body as, a temple. You only get one of them, and you need to help yourself. No one's going to be able to help you until you want to help yourself." And the girl walks away. And Erin comes up to me and she goes, "I really feel like I need to go talk to her." And I was like, "Yeah, go talk to her." And Erin chased this girl down and she was like, "I was best friends with Lexi, when she was going through all this," and they exchanged Instagrams. And she was like, "If you ever need any, motivation or inspiration or someone to talk to, I'm here to listen." And that's what's so great about her too, is that she can be the voice as well that I can't be in that moment. Do you know what I mean? I feel like she can give another perspective. Exactly. And just because she's like, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. And so to see that was amazing, because Erin doesn't know this girl, and she just went up to her and she's like, "I feel like I need to talk to her." Because Erin's so sensitive to it as well, because we went through it together.
Yeah, that's the thing. She can, like you said, she can come from the perspective of, look, I watched her be with feeding tubes. I watched her, where her heart rate was so low that she was 24 hours from dying. I mean, to think, Lexi, that you were 24 hours from dying is crazy. And it's sad. But, thank God, though, in a way, the silver lining is that you do have such a platform now that you can help others. And that's why I talk about it as well from the other side, right? From bulimia side. Because there's anorexia, there's bulimia, and there's also, I don't know the name of this one, but there's also one where people over-exercise. Do you know the name?
Yeah, I think the only thing I've ever heard it's called is workout bulimia. That's all I've ever heard of it.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of how mine started. If I ever ate something, I would go immediately and try to work it off.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of that where you just, if you eat anything, you immediately, you'd say you eat one thing and you'll go and work out for hours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Because I would incorporate that with mine too. I just didn't go the over because my body, I just couldn't take it.
Right.
But I will say though, that it is something to this day. I mean, I still have where I will look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, that's still not where I want it to be. Or that's still, it is such a mind game. What about for you? Do you still get affected by it daily, especially being on TV?
Absolutely. I feel like no matter what, someone's going to say something somewhere, you know what I mean? But you have to know that it's okay. For me, it's my biggest struggle is eating on the road, because it's so hard to eat clean on the road and to eat enough on the road. And I know sometimes I'll go a day when I'm like, wait, did I eat anything today? And I just didn't, and I have to catch myself or, check myself being like, wait, I need to eat this and I need to do that. And, sometimes it does get to me, if we're traveling and I get off of a plane and I'm holding a bunch of water, which is normal. Sometimes it affects me, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh my gosh, my gear is screaming, you know what I mean? And that's part of the reason why I always wrestle with a shirt on. It's not to sometimes it's to promote my merch. Yeah. But most of the times, cause I don't like my stomach, you know what I mean? I don't I don't like how I look that day or something. Do you know what I mean? And so that's kind of one of those things that, it still affects me to this day, but I have a healthy balance of how to deal with it. And if I'm like, oh, I don't feel very good today, that's fine. I'll wrestle in my shirt. You know what I mean? It's just it's a lot healthier version now than it was, years ago.
Yeah. And nobody even notices. Everybody still loves you for who you are, and your wrestling's amazing. And so nobody would care if you have the shirt on and you don't have the shirt on. I think that's a great way to protect yourself. And how I did that too. I mean, you would not catch me showing my stomach a lot at all when I was, ring announcing in cute little outfits or whatever. That is something that affected me as well. And which is why I never even wanted to partake. I remember I freaked out one time when they asked me to be in a bikini contest. And the company didn't know at the time that I had suffered from bulimia. Now, I didn't suffer from bulimia anymore at that time, but I was not prepared to talk about it. So, which is great that you are, but I wasn't at the time. And so I remember they asked me to be in this bikini contest and I just freaked out. And they thought that I just didn't want to do it, that I felt like I was maybe too good for myself or something like that, right? But so I was just like, I just can't. Because the thought of parading around in a bikini in the middle of the ring was mortifying to me.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I have anxiety just thinking about it.
Right? Just mortifying.
I don't think I could.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I started crying and just being like, I just can't do this. Luckily, they allowed me to go out there. I was, that's kind of like the storyline. I was having a little storyline with Viscera. And so I'm wrapped around with a towel. And right before, and they go, okay, in our first ever bikini contest, and right before I'm about to let the towel drop and start the competition, Viscera comes down and swoops me away. It was the best thing they could have ever written, and it saved me, and then it ended up turning into this huge storyline that wasn't even supposed to happen. So it's amazing how these things do end up, taking off. But it was something that I will tell people, if you're not comfortable, stand your ground, for sure. But also know that you can be open as to why you're not comfortable. I kind of wish that I would have told them,
Yeah.
Because then they could understand a little bit better. And it wasn't their fault at all. But I think that's a big lesson here, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Have you ever had to be in a situation where you're like, I'm not comfortable with this, whether it's body or anything else?
The only thing I've ever had a situation not being comfortable with was when I was doing the storyline with Nia Jax. There was certain things, like even though I had to be the one that was bullying and body shaming and stuff like that, we wanted to make the story real. And so we needed to have, real situations. And so there were some things that I just didn't feel comfortable saying. I didn't feel comfortable. But it was stuff that, like, obviously it was stuff that Nia provided. You know what I mean? She would say this about me. You could say this about me. You could say this about me, to pull real emotions. And some of the things I was like, I don't feel comfortable saying that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't, but it was fine. And so we just didn't do it. And so then we went another route. And that's what's great about our company too, is that nothing's set in stone. Like, if you don't feel comfortable doing something, there's always another option. It's creative. It's a creative process. And I think that's what's so great about our writing team and our producers, and everyone's so open about making everyone feel so comfortable in every situation that they're in. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about something that I don't know if you were comfortable with this or not, but Evolution right around the corner. So exciting. The first ever all women's pay-per-view, October the 28th. It's extremely exciting. And you had a little, a bliss moment, a moment of bliss, I should say, that you were talking about Trish Stratus, who you're going to be facing. And at the time, you thought you were just going to face her, and we'll talk about the tag team. But how comfortable were you? Somebody that you've looked up to for so many years, you finally get to meet. I was so excited to be part of that, introducing you guys at the Royal Rumble backstage. Guys, they were listening to this. It was adorable.
I was so shy. I was like, so shy. Hi, how are you?
I know, she was so like, if you don't mind me telling the story, it's so cute.
No, go ahead.
Because guys, you got to know, she was so shy and so put together and polite and like, oh, nice to meet you, this and that. And then all of a sudden she comes to me afterwards when Trish is gone. She's like, oh my God, I'm doing cartwheels inside. I can't believe this moment happened, and just spinning out of control. It was incredible. It was so much fun. And it was just great. So now you're, going to go against her, which I'm sure, was that ever a dream that you had by any chance?
Oh, absolutely. The day I started with WWE, I always said, I would love to be able to face Trish Stratus one day. That was like, I was like, if she ever returns to the ring, I was like, I would love to face Trish Stratus. I've said it in probably almost every media interview I've ever done. Because, we both came from similar backgrounds, and I just thought she's amazing. And, I'm really excited to face her at Evolution. I found out on Twitter like everyone else.
That was crazy.
Yeah. At first I thought it was Photoshopped. I was like, oh, that would be awesome. Because, people on Twitter, they Photoshop everything. And, I was like, oh, that would be cool, like if only, and then WWE tweeted it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then apparently she found out the same way. We didn't know that we'd be facing each other. Yeah. And then it was made into a tag match, which is awesome because what's better than being in the ring with one legend, being in there with three?
Yeah.
And getting to team with Mickey. And it's so cool and it's so awesome. And I'm so excited.
Yeah, so there's so many aspects of this that I want to ask you. First of all, going back to that moment of bliss. So when you have somebody like Trish that you have looked up to for so long, you get to meet her, and now you guys are going to have your match. How hard was it for you to record like the message or, the backstage thing that you did about her?
Oh, the moment of bliss?
Yeah.
One? So that was actually a lot of fun because obviously, the moment of blisses, they are extreme and over the top, and clearly I'm being ridiculous in them, and that's what's so fun about them. And I'd never met Trish until that moment that you saw. So it was a lot of fun, and I even I messaged her. I was like, hey. I just talked about you on TV. You should probably watch it. I was like, you should probably watch it if you want to, respond to it or something. But it was funny, it was fun because it was they're always so fun to do, and they're my little public service announcements. And to actually be doing one on Trish Stratus was really cool. I was like, this is awesome. I'm doing my thing, and I'm talking about Trish Stratus, and I'm Gary Facer at Evolution, and it's awesome. And, my excitement, and, I was supposed to compose my excitement in the moment of bliss, but I was actually genuinely excited when I was talking about our match at Evolution. And you see my eyes get a little watery because I was like, there she is, my hero. And I just kept talking about it. And it was a lot of fun. And, it's been a lot of fun working with her, and, getting to be able to be one-on-one in the ring with her when we did the promo segment the week after, which was really cool. And it's just been so much fun. It's been fun, and it's been, a fun setup to the match. And I'm really excited to see how it goes, especially now with, Lita and Mickey involved in a tag match. And, it's fun because we got to kind of play on last week. We got to kind of make a comment about, I told Mickey, I was like, well, if anyone knows Trish, Mickey, it's you. And just just play around, and it's fun.
Which is great because they have so much history together too.
Oh my gosh, of course.
God. So saying that, how come it got turned into a tag team?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I know there's a lot of speculations on Twitter. I've seen, because someone's injured, or because I was injured, or this, that, and the other. But no, I think it was just the direction they wanted to go in. And, we were told, when it was announced, earlier in that day, they're like, hey, this is going to be a tag match. No reason. It just is. And it's just, I think it makes it exciting. I think it makes it really cool because, you have Team Bestie, Trish and Lita.
Right.
And the dynamic, I think it would have been not the word a waste. I don't want to use the word a waste. I feel like it would have been, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot more fun to have Mickey involved because of Trish and Mickey's history.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like it needed to be done. That's just my opinion, my personal opinion, and I feel like this is, and it makes sense. Me and Mickey have been teammates for God knows how long now. And Trish and Lita are Team Bestie. So why not? And I feel like they kind of saw that in a creative standpoint. I feel like they saw that, and they saw the value in that match and wanted to go with it, and it wasn't anything that happened that turned it into a tag match. It was just, I think that was just what they wanted to do.
And you never know, because this could lead later on eventually to having a one-on-one with Trish.
I think that would be awesome. I mean, I wanted to have the one-on-one with Trish. I thought it would be, freaking dream come true. But it's still a dream come true because now I'm getting into the ring with Lita too. You know what I mean? This is so cool.
Right. And like I said, and then you never know, it could turn into that singles match. So, and if it does turn into a singles match, then it's going to mean even more.
Oh yeah,
because it didn't happen this time.
Because then there's more history and stuff like that.
Exactly. Awesome. So let's speak about injury then, and to get that off the table. I mean, you faced Ronda Rousey. It was incredible. You were like a ragdoll, though, at times. I was really feeling for your arm. How were you after that match?
Sore, bumps and bruises. I'm not. None of us are used to we're all trained to perform a certain way, you know what I mean? And when you have someone from another background come in, you got to adapt, you got to change. And all around it makes us better performers. But, obviously I was sore, I was very sore, because I'm just not, it's something that your body's not used to, you know what I mean? Like, it was funny because I remember thinking the first time we ever had a match was at a live event. And I was like, man, I have muscles that I didn't know existed that are sore. But it's just because it's a different movement, you know what I mean? And she's so strong and so, so gifted in what she does. And, it was a lot of fun facing her. It really was. It was so much fun. And, during live events, we'd be, like trying to make each other laugh and stuff, but it was a lot of fun. And it was a great storyline. I was really happy to, be the person that could be her counterpart when she won her title, and that was a very special moment. And, I always say, every other opponent in the octagon with her had lasted, 1, 2, 3 minutes. I lasted 17 minutes and 34 seconds. So
there you go.
So
well, if you're going to lose to somebody, Ronda's really good to lose to.
That's what I'm saying. If I was going to lose to someone, if I was going to lose my title to someone, because, I held a title for a really long time. If I was going to lose it to someone, it's the baddest woman on the planet. I'm okay with that. I went toe to toe with Ronda Rousey. I didn't succeed, but I went 17 minutes and 34 seconds.
Not counting or anything.
Yeah, not counting or anything, I'm being super specific.
So I have a question about that, actually. Here you have been champ already in like just 2 years' time. You've been champ 5 times. 5 times. That's congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
That's incredible, Alexi. So the fact that you've been champ this long and now you're not champ now. Some people, when they have a title, it gives them a boost. It gives them a meaning. It gives them like they just feel like something. How has it been for you not having the title?
For me, honestly, it's been okay. I'm so, I guess I can easily separate work from reality. Do you know what I mean?
Good. Yeah.
I know going into it, especially because when I first got the title, I was fully expecting to lose it a week later, like that's just how I assumed it. And so I kind of saw it as every week that I had the title, it's kind of like a little blessing, because things changed so much. And it was awesome to, have a title on both brands, go into my first WrestleMania as SmackDown Women's Champion, my second WrestleMania as Raw Women's Champion. And I was just kind of like, I'm kind of ready for a new start, it's been nice being the champion. I could not have asked for better 2 years. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I've had with WWE, but I'm excited for the chase again. I'm excited to be able to stand in the ring across from someone. If I get this opportunity again, you never know, if I have the opportunity to stand in the ring with someone who's champion at the time, that's what I'm excited about, is that chase and to, redevelop my character, because for the longest time as, a bad guy, I can just hide behind the title, and that's my heat. I'm excited to kind of restart and reboot and, kind of give Alexa Bliss a little bit more dimension. And that's how I think of it, as I'm excited for this next chapter. I'm excited to see who has the title, after Ronda and after that person and after that person, and I'm excited to see, the other women get these opportunities, because I'm sure people are sick of seeing me with the title. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you did it so well that it's a lot of fun. Either way, it works.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm excited to see, I'm excited to see everything in the future, and I'm excited to. I feel like now that I've had those moments, it's someone else's turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that, and I love your attitude about it, because that does happen. There's so many people that I know that if they're not a champion, and I'm not even talking about WWE, just in life, if they don't have, for example, if they're not even the CEO or the president of the company or something, they feel less than.
Right.
And I love the fact that you've got that attitude of, well, let's see what else is out there. And it is not really about the championship, and it's about the chase, and it's about the journey. It's about how you can continue to grow. And so,
and it's about, and helping the person that, like I told Nia, we were backstage at WrestleMania, I told her, I was like, I'm so happy to be able to have this moment with you. You know, my best friend who, like, I was dropping the title to my best friend at WrestleMania. Like, that's what you want. You know what I mean? You want that for your best friend. And I was so happy to be a part of that with her. I wasn't like, you know, oh, boo, I'm losing the title. It was no, like, this is amazing. Like, I'm giving the title, like, I'm dropping the title to my best friend at WrestleMania and like in front of her family and friends. And like, I had that moment with my family, you know what I mean? And now she gets to have this moment, and we were just so happy for her, and she was crying, and it was just such a beautiful moment, you know? And it was cool to be a part of that. If you're not going to be the main focus, it's nice to be a part of something. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And knowing that you had part in it and someone else's success.
That is awesome. I love that. Now, speaking of Nia, because you guys were so tied at the hip, I don't see you guys tied at the hips as much.
Well, she's so busy with Total Divas, and I've been busy with media, and, you know, we still hang out backstage, and we're still really, really, really close. You know, obviously our paths kind of went different directions, but, you know, on the road, it's so hard to keep in touch with people. Like, oh man, there's been times where I've been home on the road maybe one day a week. And then, you know, I know she's always traveling with Total Divas. And I remember when I did the Total Divas schedule, I didn't have any free time at all. I didn't even speak to my parents. Wow. So, you know what I mean? And I know that, you know, we each like our time at home. Like, I know she loves to play with Benji when she gets home, her dog, and lay with him. And, you know, I don't want to disrupt that time. You know what I mean? And like, we're still really close. We were just traveling together this weekend at the airport and hanging out. We sat next to each other on the plane, and like we're still really close. We're just I think just schedule kind of took over our lives for a little bit, you know, which is happens. Yeah.
Do you miss Total Divas?
I do. I liked seeing the girls from SmackDown because it was a lot of fun. It was my original locker room that I came up in, and that was the cast at the time. And I loved, you know, seeing those girls every week and being able to be a part of that. And, you know, that's how I got Larry Steve was through Total Divas. And it was such a good experience. It was so fun. You know, I will always take so many good memories from that. The only thing is that the schedule, you know, like I have a lot more respect for the girls who do Total Divas and the crew themselves, because it's 4 months of nonstop. You don't get a day off. And, you know, at the time I held a title at the same time. I was Raw champion at the same, Raw Women's champion at the same time. So when I wasn't filming Total Divas, I was doing media for something else. And if I wasn't doing media, I was doing Total Divas. And so I felt like I would have enjoyed it more if it was one or the other, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But I feel like just the schedule got too much for me.
Well, it's like they say, if you don't have balance, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if it is your dream. If you don't have balance, it's going to be too much. You can't enjoy it. Your body can take so much.
Yeah, and it was so fun too. That's the fun part. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. I loved, you know, working with Russell and everyone, and it was so fun, and it was such a good experience. And, you know, I'd love to do it again one day. And it was a lot of fun. And, you know, I just felt like I have a whole new respect for it, especially because people don't know what goes into it. Like, you're filming nonstop, you know, nonstop.
It looks glamorous, right? People, like, they look at all the reality TVs and all, but you look at it too. And there's been a lot of breakups and stuff because of filming the reality TV. I've seen that as well. Breakups with your significant other and breakups and fights with friends. I mean, there's been a lot of drama that sometimes happens because of that.
Yeah. And I think it's just like, everyone just, you know, everyone gets tired. Everyone's, you know, worn out, you know.
Cranky.
There's been, you know what I mean? There's been times where I'm just like, I just want to cocoon and sit with my dogs and not talk to anybody. But yeah, I miss it. I do. It was a lot of fun, but it was just, I think I got more respect for it going out of it. Do you know what I mean? I went in not knowing what to think, and I came out with a lot of respect for the girls who are able to do it and the producers who have to travel and do all the work, because it's a lot of work. And it was a lot of fun, and I have nothing but good memories from it.
Well, that brings me to actually wanting to talk about last time when you were on, we were talking about you being engaged to Buddy Murphy, but you only saw each other one day a week.
Yes.
And now, I mean, it's kind of like the same thing where you guys don't see each other that much. Are you still together?
We actually never see each other.
Yeah.
It's, we still care about each other so much, we're best friends. We're still like on that path, but we just don't see each other ever, and especially now that he's been doing 205 and he does a lot of loops and everything. And when we travel on the road, sometimes we are on the road at the same time, but I ride with Ember and he has his car group, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's a respect thing. Like you don't just leave your car group,
right.
For, you just don't. And so we hardly see each other. It's very rare when we do, but I know that I'm focusing, I had to focus on my career. He has to focus on his, he was very supportive when I was never home, because of becoming on the main roster and, getting the title. And, he's been nothing but proud of me. And, now it's his turn to live that schedule. And so I know that I'm going to be supportive of him every step of the way. And, I want to see him get his career where he wants it, you know what I mean? And what he deserves, because he's been in NXT for so long. And, he really deserves to show what talent he has. And if that means, sacrificing personal life for a bit, that's so be it, because he's worked so hard. I would never want to disrupt that in any way.
Yeah. But I'm sure that hasn't been easy. I mean, because you have your career and everything, but God, trying to balance that with a personal life is so hard when you're on the road for that many days, let's say. So I'm sure that hasn't been easy as well. But I love what you're saying right now. Look, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Right.
So great.
And the thing is, there's no timeline on forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like if we know that, if we want to make it work forever, there's no rush on forever,
Right.
And, this is the time where, we can put our personal life, our relationship on hold for him to be able to succeed. And that's what's needed right now. And that's what relationships are. They're balance and, meeting in the middle and working on things. And, we when we're home, we hang out and we go to the movies and we hang out and we hang out with the animals and we have so much fun. And it's just, but when it's time to go on the road, he goes on the road, I go on the road, and it is what it is. And you have to, put the personal life aside and put it on hold, until you're both comfortable with where you are in life. Because like I said, we have dogs, we have a pig, we have a house. Like it's just that next step it's just not time yet. Right.
No, I get that. So let's talk about the pig.
Oh my gosh, he's so big.
What the hell? I first of all, I guess Florida allows that you can have a pig for a pet.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. So this whole thing, yeah. I mean, you got him when he was a little baby, and now how much does he weigh?
Probably about 70 pounds.
That's amazing. And I love the fact that you were telling the story at Comic-Con when he will crawl up on you and just lay on you. You're like,
yeah,
I can't breathe.
Yeah, he thinks he's a lap pig. That's the problem. Is the older he gets, he is so smart. He thinks he's a dog. So he's been raised around dogs his whole life, right? So he thinks he's a dog. Yeah, he plays with toys the way the dogs do. He runs around like the dogs do. But he got me, actually, Lilian. So for the longest time, I've been lifting his chunky butt up on the couch and off the couch and onto the bed and off the bed. Now he has stairs, but sometimes he's too lazy to use them. So he'll put his front feet on the bed and then just look at me and wait for me to pick him up. And I always feel bad. I'm like, oh, here, I'll pick you up.
Right.
So Murphy sent me a video not too long ago of Larry running around upstairs and just hopped right on the couch by himself.
Oh.
So he's been playing me this whole time.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That is hilarious. How a pig knows how to manipulate you.
Oh my gosh, 100%. Well, he's known how to manipulate me for a long time. He, did I tell you the story? I think I told you the story of how he got his food out.
No.
So he knows how to open the pantry, right? He's just very smart. He knows how to open the pantry. And so I kept pushing the pantry closed. I was like, no, Larry. And he keeps nudging it's one of those, it doesn't open, but it like slides open.
Yeah.
That makes sense. He knows how to wedge his nose under there and just open the pantry and get his food. So I was like, no, Larry, no, Larry. And so he walks away for like 2-3 minutes, right? Comes back over and I just hear the trash can being nudged. And then finally he nudged it over to the dog's water bowl, flipped over the trash can to where it spilled the water bowl, watched me go grab a towel. And as soon as I left to grab a towel, he opened up the pantry and gotten his food.
Oh my God. This is a smart pig.
Oh my gosh, he's so smart. But I wasn't mad because he made a plan and he followed through. You know what I mean? I couldn't be.
You're like a proud mama.
Yeah, I couldn't be mad. I could not be mad at that. I was like, man, he made a plan, he followed through, and he got what he wanted. You know what I mean? Like I can't be mad at that. I mean, I was mad at myself for falling for it, but I couldn't be mad at him because it was just so brilliant.
So now does he get things? Are you clever enough now? You're like, nope.
Yeah, and we've had to baby proof everything in the house because he can open up everything. Yeah.
Oh my God! So he is smarter than your dogs.
Oh yeah, he's very, very smart. He's probably the smartest animal I've ever met.
Wow. How long do pigs live?
They can live up to 20 years, I think, 20 to 25. Yeah, I saw his. I knew how big he was going to get because I saw his parents and his grandparents at the pig farm.
And how big do they get? Is he fully grown?
Yeah, I mean, they were a little bit smaller than him because Larry, let's just be honest, he's a chunky monkey. He just eats and just stores for some reason.
Yeah.
I need to get him exercising more, but he's going to be doing the heart walk this year again, which is cool. Oh. So maybe he'll get a little bit of exercise there. He always does the American Heart Association heart walk. And yeah, he did it last year. He was in his stroller though, but it was so funny because I made a profile for him. My mom works for Florida Hospital, so she made their unit's team was Larry Steve. He was their mascot, and Larry Steve on his own made the most donations to the point where the American Heart Association was like, yeah, he was all over the billboards at the Heart Walk and on the Tron. And they're like, we don't know whose pig this is, but he raised the most money last year. And my mom was like, oh my gosh, that's my pig. And so he's doing the Heart Walk again this year. And I keep posting links for people to donate to Team Larry Steve for the American Heart Association. And it's been a lot of fun. Like we did it last year. He got to get rolled around in his stroller and he loved seeing the people. He's such a social little animal. He loves it.
Awesome. So people can just come in and pet him?
Yeah. Just come see him. Yeah. And this year I'm going to try. I bought him a stroller for it. I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram. I actually sat in the stroller to make sure he would fit in it. But hopefully he'll get to walk around and, burn some of that piggy weight.
Well, that's funny. If somebody wants to donate, how do they go about doing it?
Oh, it's on my Twitter. I have the link on my Twitter. It's for American Heart Association. It's for Team Larry Steve.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they can donate for about, I think it's another 10 days. They can donate for, and it's on my Twitter. It's up on my link. And yeah, we're just trying to, good cause, American Heart Association.
So are you against people eating bacon?
So I have a lot of friends who still eat bacon. But I personally do not eat bacon.
No, I can imagine.
It's not that I judge people who eat bacon. It's just that I think of them as a lesser person. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Oh my God. It's great. What a great way to put it. Judging you is that I think you're just the worst person ever. But I'm not judging you. I promise.
Totally kidding. Yeah, actually, I think, I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure Murphy still eats bacon.
Does he? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I've guilt tripped him a few times over that, being like, why are you eating bacon?
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's like I used to live on a farm with cows and I would love the cows, but I still eat steak. It's so hard. And I would eat chickens, but I still eat chicken. But it's also because there's so much that I can't eat with a specific mold diet that I have that it leaves me with just a few things that I can eat for protein. And so I'm like, sorry, but I have to.
Yeah. And I went vegetarian for like the longest time after I got Larry Steve. And, you know, it's so hard. And we were on the UK tour, and the only food options they had were non-vegetarian. And so I had to start eating meat again, and I felt so sick. But I still don't eat bacon. That's just a big no-no. We're a porkless family.
Yeah. Did you find that when I tried to be vegetarian, I really did not feel well. I couldn't sustain it. I felt awful. So I know what my diet is now. The one that I'm on right now is just, I feel great. I can run the entire day without needing a nap or anything. Did you feel like it was hard for you to be vegetarian?
At first, but that's the thing is I don't really eat a lot of meat in general. I like egg whites is like my kind of source of protein. And then I'll maybe have like a small piece of chicken. So to go vegetarian for me wasn't that hard. It was just cut out the chicken. You know, I would still eat egg whites and stuff, which I know is like a bit is against whatever, but
it is
just didn't.
That's supposed to. I can't remember with the vegetarian.
It's like there's so many rules now. I'm not sure.
Rules. I hate rules.
There's so many rules when it comes to dieting. I would eat egg whites and stuff, but I could never go vegan. I couldn't do that. But I remember when I was vegetarian, I felt weak the first week. I felt very weak and very tired. And then the second week I felt great. I kept feeling great. But then I noticed that, you know, with working out and being on the road and wrestling, my body, I think, was using too much muscle for energy, and I started losing muscle, couldn't, you know, maintain any muscle on my body. I was just wasting it away. And then, you know, my energy level went low in that way. It was harder to lift. But then when I started eating meat again, because we were on tour, I felt so sick. And then, but I ended up losing like a bunch of weight from, you know, being vegetarian. I lost like within a month, it was like 11 pounds, which is a lot for me, you know,
that's not good for you, especially with your eating disorder.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I can't really do this. So I started introducing meat back in my diet, and then immediately gained the weight back from, you know, my muscles just filling out the muscle memory and, you know, getting the muscle back and then the glycogen back in the muscles and all that stuff. And it was very hard starting to go vegetarian, and then it was really hard to not be vegetarian at first. And I think it's once you're used to it, your body kind of adapts. But then I just got so tired and so weak, and I felt sick, and I was just like, okay, I need some substance here.
Right. Well, what have you been doing to prepare for your match for Evolution?
Well, I've been doing a lot of work at the PC lately. I've been going to the Performance Center, you know, rolling around in the ring in there, you know, lifting, doing cardio, just trying to keep my, because I haven't been on the live events lately. So I've been trying to keep my cardio up just so I'm not so blown up in the match, which I know I'm going to be, you know, out of breath anyway, because that's just what happens when you're not consistently go. So I've just been, you know, trying to pick up my training and, you know, eat healthy. And, you know, I still have my occasional cheat days, though. I love bad food sometimes, you know, you can't help it. Especially, I was in Chicago for a week. Yeah, I was in Chicago for a week, and Aaron had all the best restaurants picked out, like these little hole in the wall places, and you can't go and not get their food. You know, you have to enjoy it a little bit. You have to enjoy life. So yeah, I've just been trying to keep a balance, but also get my workouts going again and get my cardio back up and just be as prepared as I can be.
Right. Well, you know, in the last interview, you talked about the fact that you like to have your boxes checked and certain things look the way you want them to look. So going into this match, have you visualized the way that you want it to look? And are you okay now with things not looking the way necessarily you thought they were going to be?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I knew that I wasn't going to be, because we get our schedule and it's pretty laid out with the live events when we're going to be traveling and everything. I saw that I wasn't going to be on live events for a few weeks. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to work out every day and, you know, get, you know, in the best shape. So then by the time Evolution comes around, I'm going to be all ready. And just, you know, with appearances that I end up getting booked on and, you know, having to travel and being off for injury, I wasn't able to do that at all. And so now I'm just kind of
like, wait a minute, I had a plan. Excuse me, but I had a plan.
Yeah, I was like, I had a plan to, get in shape and be in great shape. And it's just so hard. People don't understand how hard it is to be in shape on the road. And the people that are on the roster and that are in good shape, like they have the best dedication I've ever seen. I will say this about, like Charlotte, Sasha, Bailey, Mandy, Rose, Sonya, like all of our girls look amazing and they have the most dedication I have ever seen to any kind of diet and, workout plan. And it's so hard. And, I have a lot of respect for that. And especially coming from the bodybuilding world. But, this whole time I've been off, I've just like, man, like I had a plan. Like I was supposed to get in shape. I was supposed to be, at the top of my game. And now I'm just, because of, injury, I was out for a little bit. And so I wasn't able to work out the whole time as hard as I wanted to. And so now that, I'm getting back into the swing of things, I'm just happy to be back in the ring. That's my thing for Evolution is I'm happy to be back in the ring because I don't look the way I wanted to look for Evolution. That's okay. Because I'm just happy to be back in the ring. I'm having my dream match and Mickey and I have a little theme that we're going to do. We're going to cosplay and I'm very excited about that because I haven't been able to cosplay in a while for gear and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's good. Because I was wondering, though, because it does play a mental game. When things don't go exactly the way you thought they were going to go, or you had a plan, sometimes it can mess with you mentally. So what is it that you do to go, okay, it didn't go this way, and fill in the blank?
Honestly, I've learned this tactic from Howard Fine. Like they always brought in Howard Fine, the acting coach for us in NXT. And he just made the simplest little revelation for me. Like he was saying that if you ever mess up in the ring, if you ever mess up in a promo, if you ever mess up in life, just say, oops, and then the problem goes away. And it's so smart because you don't think about it, but your brain acknowledges it and then you move on. So for me, I'm just kind of like, it's not that I don't take it seriously, but if there's a problem and things don't go exactly how they were supposed to, oops. Now what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember you bringing that up last time, and I was going to ask you about that, if you still use the oops concept, because even when you shared it with me and something would happen and it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, I remembered that. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And it's powerful. It puts the power back in you instead of the way that it makes you like, oh my God, to hell with life. How dare life do this to me, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I love it because I think, especially for me, I know if I mess up in a promo or something, and which I have a lot, people don't realize I've messed up in a promo a lot. But if I do,
you don't show it.
It's the oops method. And then I just think, oops, okay. Because, if you think about it, then you're going to mess up later and you're going to dwell on it and then it throws you all off. But if you just say, oops, it takes the power out of the situation. You have the power to fix it again, and that's just kind of how I do everything in life. Like if I do something, I just go, oops, and then just keep going. I'm sure if people listen very carefully, I'm sure they've heard it in one of my matches. Just oops, and then just keep going.
Oh, really? You think so? You literally say it out loud?
I've said it once. I remember I was in a match against Natty and my foot slipped on one of the things I was going to do on the ropes. My foot slipped and I just go, oops, I just keep going.
I like that. That's awesome. I wish I could have used something like that though. Like when I was doing my ring announcement, man, I wish I could ad-lib. That was the one thing that I was like, the rules are so set in stone that you can't mess them up. Like you can't ad-lib them. If you forget a part, it's like, it could be the crucial part. Like, both feet must touch the floor. Like that's a crucial thing to leave out. So I never knew when I had the stress of having the rules. And if I did mess up something, oh my God, it just felt like the whole world was on me because I'm like, man, how do I even fix that? I wish I could have said, oops, but still, I don't know that would have worked for me.
Well, the thing is it's not that you don't care because it's obviously I care if I mess up. If we care, right? But it gives us the power back to fix it. Yeah. That's how I feel that oops does. It gives you the power back to be like, it takes the power from the mistake and it gives it to you to fix it. Because if not, you're going to dwell on it. And because we as performers and professionals, we care so much about what we do, but sometimes you got to take control of it. You know, you just got to be like, well, can't fix it. Oops.
Right. Something else that I learned from you too is you were talking about asking for help, and how when you were first training at NXT and you were struggling, and then you went to Sarah D'Amato and you're like, look, I've been coached all my life. Please help me out. What do I need to do? What do I need to correct? There's a lot of people that think they know it all, and there's a lot of people that are also scared to ask for help. So I learned that a big thing from you from your last interview. Is that something that you still reach out for?
Oh, all the time. I'm a big help me person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's there's been times where even still to this day, I'll ask one of the guy performers or Murphy or something. I'm like, hey, I need help. What can I do here? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when it comes to matches or even just gear stuff, I'm very big at asking, because I feel like sometimes I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing because I feel like I am such a perfectionist in things. I get so wrapped up that I need someone else to kind of take me out of the situation and be like, hey, step back. And another perspective that's kind of how I've always, lived my life. And especially when I was speaking to Sarah, because, I grew up, I told you I spent more time with my cheer coaches than I did my family, and my gymnastics coaches. And I mean, luckily my dad was my softball coach, so that was fun. But, I'm just used to being coached and being told what to do. And, I still do that with our writers. And, a lot of times I work with one of our writers, Johnny, and I always say, I just need help with just listen to me say this promo over and over and over again. And bless his heart, he does every time. He sits there and listens to me go over this promo 100 times. But because sometimes I'm like, I don't think that sounds right. What is this? Does that sound believable? Do I sound like I'm help me? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm that person. I need to be taken out of situations and just listen to someone else talk for a while. I have to hear what other people have to say and their perspective, because sometimes it can trigger, spark a new thought.
Is it easy for you to accept, not only just to accept their opinion, because you've asked their opinion, right? But, there's the type of person that can ask for help, but then they still feel like, no, I still see it this way. Or is it one of those, in other words, here's what happens with me too. I'll ask for help, and then sometimes I'll question it. And then sometimes I'll say, okay, yeah, I think this is the way to go. And then I second guess myself and I go, oh, I think maybe this is the way to go. And it just ping pongs back and forth. And before you know it, I'm like, I don't even know what to do.
Right. For me, it's just mostly, I ask for help. I ask for opinion, and then I say, okay, so what do you think about this? And I'll share my opinion, and then they'll tell me their opinion on my opinion, and that kind of squashes it. You know what I mean? So I don't ping pong back and forth. Let's just say okay, should I say the banana is yellow or should I say it's green? And you're going to tell me you should say it's yellow. I'm like, well, if I say it's green, I could deliver it like this. And you're like, yeah, but a banana is yellow. I'm like, you know what? You're right. It is yellow. It's kind of do you know what I mean? So I need that that interaction.
Right. Right. Which is, I can tell it's from years of you being part of a team when you're in sports, which is what I love about sports. It really does show you about team playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody gets to the top by themselves. They don't, people can say they do, but they don't, it takes a team effort, and that's why, a lot of people give me credit on my mic ability in the ring, and being able to cut a promo and talk on the mic. But it's not just me. It's the writing team that's helping me. It's our producers. It's, the fact that I worked with Dusty Rhodes in NXT and our promo coaches there, and it's a group effort. Do you know what I mean? I my first promo class, I cried. You know what I mean?
I know. And so I did. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and so I didn't do this on my own, and that's what's really awesome about what we do, is that it really is a group effort. And if you grew up in, any kind of team environment, you're kind of used to it when you come to WWE, because it is a group effort. I wouldn't be able to say these things on the microphone if it wasn't for the writers who are writing these promos and the producers who are producing it, and the camera people who are making sure they get my face on a certain word that I'm saying, because that tells the story. It's not a one person thing. It's a group effort.
I love it. Well, I'm telling you, I can't wait to see this match. You're such an inspiration for all that you have done, and I'm sure all you will continue to do. And man, I can hear your dogs. I don't know if they're
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fun. I'm just going. Do they do that with to Larry? Do they bark at Larry?
There's a squirrel outside that's messing with Teddy, and that's what it is. we have this squirrel that shows up every day, and he just sits. Yeah, taunts him on we have a pool and it's screened in, and this squirrel will just sit every day. Like clockwork every day will sit on the screen and just go up and down and up and down. And Teddy, my animals are all really small. Like who are they going to scare, and he just goes nuts and every day, like clockwork. It's around like 4 or 5 o'clock every day. This squirrel just miraculously shows up, and I got to give kudos to the squirrel because it can obviously tell time.
That's great, but I love the game that the squirrel is playing. Oh my God. Does Larry Steve like the squirrels, or do pigs even care about squirrels?
He doesn't even care. He just cares about food. He guards the refrigerator at all times. That's Larry Steve's job.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, thank you again for sharing your personal life and for sharing your in-ring life, and just again for being so inspirational and joining us here on Chase and Glory. Your continued chase for glory that just continues to expand. I know that last time you were saying that you wanted to have a women's match, headline WrestleMania. That was one of the things on the bucket list that you hope to be a part of, and also for you personally to end up being the longest reigning champion. Is that still part of your goals, or are there anything new on your bucket list?
That's kind of it for me. And, I want to be able to help this women's evolution go as far as it can go. And that's kind of where my goal is set now,
Yeah. Did you see this pay-per-view coming? Because when they announced it, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me. I didn't see an all women's pay-per-view.
No, I didn't either. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if we were going to talk about the Mae Young Classic or what. That's just I was standing on stage and I remember turning to Mickey and being like, what is this about? And no one knew. Yeah. So it was great.
It was such a classic moment. Watching it at home, I was just literally jumping up and down. I was so good. Happy. So happy because I remember so many pay-per-views that I was the only female. Think about that. There was no other female booked on the pay-per-view. I was it. But it does say that you guys have done the work to get there, and congratulations. So excited to see what you do on the 28th for Evolution, and where it continues from here.
Thank you. I'm very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. All right. Well, tell us how actually, before that, I always love to ask this question. Has your chase for glory looked the way you thought it was going to look?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. This has been so great. And, I feel like there's always obstacles, but if it weren't for the obstacles, the payoff wouldn't be as good. Yeah, exactly. Well, tell us how we find you on social media. Well, on Instagram, it is the one with a lot of underscores. It's Alexa_Bliss_WWE_. And on Twitter, it's Alexa Bliss_WWE.
All right. Well, thanks again, hun.
Awesome. Thank you. Right.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
Oh, man, it's always so great to speak with little Miss Bliss. I love it. You are welcome here on Chasing Glory anytime. So great to hear your continued journey and, all the things that are happening to you and for you, and the way that you're helping out other people now that are dealing with eating disorders, which, trust me, like I said, I've gone through it myself. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. And it just kind of continues to haunt you. Why? Because we're always around food. And now more than ever, we're always around social media where we hear people, commenting and judging and all. So it's kind of like back then, thank God in a way that I didn't have social media to have to grow up with to hear all of that, because it's tough. So with that, I do want to remind you guys with social media, please be responsible. Just don't put things out there that are mean and hateful, and just put positive light in the world. Be the light in the world. Don't be the darkness. I'm serious, guys. Very impactful. You don't want somebody to do it to you. Don't turn around and do it to somebody else. Okay? Step up. Be a leader. Be a leader. It's stronger. It's more powerful. All right. So thank you so much for joining me for Chasing Glory, another amazing episode. And make sure that you follow the show at Chasing Glory Podcast on Instagram. You can follow me at Lilian Garcia on Twitter and Facebook. You can, that's Twitter and Instagram. Facebook is Lilian Garcia official fan page. There's so many little things. And guess what? There's another one, which I'm actually really excited about. It's Cameo. Okay, you heard me talk about it at the beginning of the show. Make sure now that you go check it out. Cameo.com/Lilian Garcia, or you can download the Cameo app. It's that easy. Just put in my name in the search and you can get a personal shout out from me. So that's a shout out to you or to a friend. Hey, you trying to think about what to get that friend? Like, what else does that friend need? Or you don't know what kind of gift to give them, but you know that he likes Lilian. Well, there you go. Sign up and I will send him or her a personal birthday shout out. And of course, since it's a birthday, you better believe I'm going to sing them the birthday. I have to. If you're, having a anniversary. I did that for a guy named Chris the other day. Actually, he wanted to have me wish him and his wife a happy anniversary. He was sending it to his wife. And so I sent him a really lovely anniversary message. So anything like that, ring announcements. Oh, I'm getting a lot of requests for that. So if you want me to do a special ring announcement for you or for a friend, make sure that you go ahead and let me know that on Cameo. All right. So put in your request. It is ridiculous how low the price is right now for introductory price. So take advantage of that now, and that way I can have a little fun with you. And make sure you also subscribe and rate the show. Don't forget to do that. Subscribing will automatically let you know when the next episode is up. But guys, it is now. That's it. The final show until Evolution. Oh, so exciting. So tune in this Sunday, October the 28th. The first ever all women's pay-per-view. Tune in as all the women are making history. Evolution, here it comes. Woo! All right, have a good one. Love you guys. Much peace, love, and passion. And remember to always be yourself and trust that it's enough. See ya.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.